Leader of the third party.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Climate change has become very real for West Kelowna on August 16th. Those were the words spoken by West Kelowna Fire Chief Jason Brolund at the United Nations recently. Firefighters in BC are now battling blazes, quote, on a scope and scale that's nearly impossible for us to be successful against, in part because of a changing climate that makes it easier for fires to burn and grow. Brolund warned that, quote, we're spending the money on the wrong end of the problem. BC spent a record $1 billion on wildfires this year. My question, through you, Honourable Speaker, is to the Minister of Forest. Does he think that this government has been spending wildfire funds on the right end of the problem?
Minister of Forest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank the member for the question. There's no doubt that this fire season was the most extreme, the worst in British Columbia's history. And the figure that's quoted about the money to fight those fires is accurate. But what I want to say is that the Premier has appointed a task force which will be convened fairly shortly to examine the results of what took place this fire season and to look at some of those programs, the very successful programs that have within the province and taken up by municipalities, by regional districts, contributed to fire prevention in the long run. There were a number of reports done after the 2003 fire by former Premier of Manitoba, Gary Filmon. The Abbott-Chapman report after that put great stress on prevention, and there are programs that Fire Smart programs that really bring that issue forward and are funded by the government. One of the things that we have done, and in this discussion that took place at the UBCM, there's great enthusiasm for expanding those programs, and I'm confident that in this budget cycle, given the fire season that we've had this year, there will be a substantial expansion of those programs.
Leader of the third party, supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The Abbott-Chapman report that the Minister references, the first recommendation is establish Indigenous peoples as true partners, leaders in emergency management by including First Nations from the beginning at all levels of planning, decision-making and implementation. It also talks about communities being part of that planning, decision-making and implementation. We certainly heard at UBCM that that's not how communities are feeling right now in their relationship with this government. But I'm going to make this easier for this minister to respond to. There's a petition circling by the BC GEU on behalf of firefighters asking the Minister of Forest to properly compensate them for their work. They're putting their lives on the lines to protect communities and doing it for between $26 and $29 an hour. My question through you, Honourable Speaker, is to the Minister of Forest. Will this government show their support for BC's wildland firefighters and fix the recruitment and retention crisis immediately?
Minister of Forests.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. There's no doubt, as I mentioned, this season was a very tough fire season. We saw the deaths of 2 firefighters and 4 more just recently in a vehicle as they headed home from contractors who were heading home from work in Vanderhoof. So there are real consequences that took place this fire season. What we did in the budget last year was dramatically expanded the working group, the core of the BC Wildfire Service. That turned out to be a prescient move given the fire season that we've experienced this year. And certainly we value the work of whether it's people in the BC Wildfire Service, whether it's contractors who work with the Wildfire Service, and the work that they do on all of our behalfs is excellent, really important, crucial work, and we want to compliment them, and we've continued to work to expand their the funds that will flow to the BC Wildfire Service and to their training. The federal government has initiated a training program in cooperation with the provincial government to expand training of firefighters as well. So we are working to improve the quality and the work conditions of firefighters across the province, and we value their work.
Thank you.